Okay, I'm here with Adam Speas. Would you like to do more of the introduction for yourself?
Sure. I am new to LaGrange. I've only lived in town since late April of this year of 2019. I am originally from the Roswell Alpharetta area, and then after I graduated at UGA in 2008, I moved to Los Angeles, California, and lived there and in Denver for up until I moved back just recently to town. I worked in film and TV, and specifically post-production, so I'm a big fan of editing and things like that, and
Okay.
managing editors is kind of like the career path that I took. And I was looking to get out of LA, just kind of getting tired of it, and I stumbled across, got very lucky, a good friend of mine who lives in town, has been here all of his life, Forrest Clark Johnson IV, if you happen to know him, or maybe his father, Clark Johnson, who's the town historian, but over at the Troup County Archives.
Oh, okay.
Great people. The guy, I love him to death. He actually married me and my wife, so he's a really good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of was talking to him about, just being on the job hunt. And he's like, wait a minute, I think I saw an opening for technically media coordinator is the name of it,
Okay.
for the city of LaGrange. So I now work for the city, and I am creating videos that we post on, either we put on LGTV, which is our public station that we have here, but more so I'm kind of working and in charge of the social media videos that we put out on our city's page, our Instagram, and our LGTV Facebook and
Okay.
city Facebook as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized that you never lived in LaGrange before.
Yes, this is the first time. So for a LaGrange-centric podcast, I am definitely a newbie. You're going to have a totally different, kind of perspective than some of your previous guests, because I've only been here, 7 months, 8 months, something like that.
Awesome. That's absolutely wonderful. It's kind of, I guess I want to say that's kind of my perspective too, but I guess that's how I feel, even though I've lived here for 10 years now.
Okay. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Binghamton, New York, upstate New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even though I've been here for 10 years, it doesn't feel it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm brand new to LaGrange, even though I've been here for 10 years. But yeah, so we covered what you do in LaGrange. You came from Denver.
Yeah, so technically, all the places I've lived, I've moved quite a bit, it seems, but I was born in Iowa.
Okay.
And then my parents moved to Cumming, Georgia when I was a baby.
Okay.
Less than a year. And I grew up in the Cumming and then Alpharetta and Roswell area through or up until high school.
Okay.
After high school, I went to UGA.
Okay.
And then after UGA, I went straight out to Los Angeles after that.
Okay.
There for about 4 years. Then in Denver for about 4 years. Then in LA for about another 3 years. And now in LaGrange.
Got it. Okay. All right. I think I'm making sense of that now.
Yeah, I hop around.
So I guess our third question, what are you known for in and around LaGrange?
Yeah, I'm a little too fresh to be known, quote unquote, in LaGrange. But I don't know. Some people start recognizing me. Well, not recognizing me, but I do. Since I do the videos for the city, sometimes people will have seen some of our stuff.
Okay.
We have got a nice little series that I do with the Troup County Archives about showing up history in LaGrange, and I'm a big fan of doing those.
Okay.
I've done some videos for our tourism department as well. And one of my favorite videos that I've worked on so far actually was our fire department does a stair climb every 9/11.
Okay,
And so it was a very emotional day, obviously, where they go to Callaway Stadium and they run up and down 110 flights of stairs in honor of the stairs at the Twin Towers. And they play the radio calls from that day. And so it was very, very emotional just going there, and I had to film that. And then what we wanted to do was get that footage up that day, because as weird as it sounds, 9/11's not topical on 9/12.
Yeah.
And so I went and filmed that, and what John Brandt does, the chief at our fire department, he's the guy. He really cares, and he's very emotional. He loves his people, and I think he loves this town and everything. And so when they put that on, I filmed that, and then I brought it back here and edited it. And that video, which you can find on the City of LaGrange's Facebook video page, I think is one of the better pieces of work that I've done since I here. But it's very emotional, and it's it's just wonderful. It also just makes me feel I'm very happy to be in a town like this.
Awesome. Kind of.
Yeah, awesome. And exactly. It can be sad, but because I'm a filmmaker, something I've been working on, it's one of the ones I'm most proud of because we played that video at multiple different things, including city council meeting, in front of the chief and some of the other people who were doing it, as well as in front of just some other townspeople, and it's made people cry. Mm-hmm. And me being a filmmaker, I want my videos to elicit some kind of emotion. Yeah. Maybe I'm trying to make people excited for what the government's doing. Maybe I'm trying to make people laugh. This one I wanted to make people feel emotional, and it made me happy that it was something that seems to be working. It was a good video for that.
Yeah, a tearjerker film is what you wanted.
Sometimes, yes, it's exactly what you want.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So everybody go check it out.
Yeah, please.
So we covered you've been doing it in LaGrange about 6 months, you'd say?
Yeah, seven-ish months. Where are we at? Yeah. So since April, about, I guess that's 8 months, closer to 8, or
okay.
7 to 8 months. But I've been working in film and TV and video since 2008.
Okay.
Some projects that aren't very good. When I first got out to LA, I was mainly doing assistant editing work and doing some projects that I know are on Netflix and Amazon Prime right now.
Okay.
But they're not good.
Okay.
I don't recommend anybody. I mean, every now and then I'll go I'll either pop them on or something just so I can see my name in the credits. It makes me feel pretty good because I got out of film a while ago and I started going into digital video.
Okay.
A good while ago, probably 8 years ago or so. And so seeing my name on the credits or on the big screen is kind of something that's I kind of shifted from, but it's still kind of nice. Still kind of nice seeing your name in that end crawl.
Yeah, it's gratifying.
Exactly, but yeah, so I shifted to online and digital video, working for an educational company out in Denver for a while, where I was editing, and then started kind of climbing the corporate ladder into managing editors for a company that did arts and crafts videos. So I went from very, kind of fun, silly movies or things like stuff that aired on BET or Sci-Fi Network or stuff like that, to 60-year-old women teaching you how to sew, stuff like that. But it was a really great company that I enjoyed working for them for the time that I did. I got to travel quite a bit around and filming people doing their arts and crafts, whether it was photography, sewing, knitting, cake decorating, all across the country. It was very, very interesting. And then after that, I moved back to Los Angeles and was a post supervisor and eventually the director of post-production for a fairly large YouTube channel. Okay. So I was managing a team of 20 different editors and assistant editors for a while. Wow. Until I just got sick of the environment there. Okay. And I kind of needed to get out of Los Angeles as well. Yeah. And I found a position out here, and I was like, all right, I'm doing it.
All right. Well, I think that covers what first brought you to LaGrange too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, is there a story behind you moving here?
I mean, the physical move, or why the choice of LaGrange?
Either or.
So the choice of LaGrange is because a buddy of mine, I think I'd only really driven through the town once, because I had a couple friends who were close. I think they both went to Troop High. Okay. Some good friends of mine who I met at UGA, played rugby with up there, and they're just two of my best friends I've known for a long time, and one of them, he just kind of knew about this position, so I did all Skype interviews with the city manager and my current boss, and they liked me enough, and I guess I had a decent enough resume that they were willing to take a risk on me, and so I was like, all right, I'll move across country. And what made me want to move to LaGrange was I was looking for not the complete opposite of Los Angeles, but I wanted a good change. Okay. I was sick of seeing concrete everywhere and fake everywhere. I am ready, and was ready kind of a throwback to what I grew up in Cumming area. Was a little bit of a smaller town, something that still had plenty of going on, but hopefully hadn't been swallowed up by Atlanta sprawl. And LaGrange is far enough away that it hasn't been swallowed up, but it's also close enough I can go make a day trip and see tons of friends that I've got in Atlanta, and it's not a problem. I mean, Hartsfield-Jackson's less than an hour away. Yeah. And so I thought the distance, I thought the culture, I thought a lot of that stuff fit really well for me here from what I was doing my research, talking to other people just
Mm-hmm.
who'd been here. So that's what motivated me to want to take the position.
Okay.
And then I got very lucky. The team that I'm working with is absolutely amazing. And so I'm very, very happy that I am here now.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding.
And then my physical move, my wife and I drove across the country, and we took 7 days. And
really?
we did a good little trip. Yeah, we didn't try to bust butt to get over here.
I was gonna say, like, that's 7 days is taking your time.
Yes, we stopped. We hadn't seen the Grand Canyon yet, so we just went and saw the Grand Canyon. And my wife is I'd say intense runner. I would say she is. She is a streak runner, which means she runs at least a mile, if not more, every single day.
Okay.
And so she's been doing it for over 2 years now, straight, every single day, without taking a break.
Wow.
She's having to run a mile. And so she has a separate goal of where she wants to run a half marathon in every single state.
Okay.
And so we made sure to run at least virtual half marathons in 6 states during our trip. So that way we had to make sure we got in Arizona, or no, we already did, Arizona, New Mexico, Louisiana, like whatever, going across. She's like, all right, we have to stop and we have to run, or she has to run. I didn't run. I certainly didn't. I went and gassed up the cars and brought her water and things like that while she ran 13 miles in every state while we went across the country. It was funny, like I'd say half of the times we ended up running in cemeteries because we were like, well, you can't. Every place you stop doesn't have like a perfect park to go running in, and we're like, well, what's a good, other substitute for that? Well, cemeteries are typically fairly flat or close enough.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually well enough maintained, and they have some kind of paths, either driving or walking paths, and they're not typically busy. So it was a good spot for her to go to her running, and it was fantastic.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So we ran in cemeteries in New Mexico, Mississippi, and Louisiana. It was fun. Like I said, I would either find a tree and sit and read a comic book or something, and she would do all her running work or simple stuff.
Do you still read physical comic books?
I haven't in a bit. I pick up a trade paperback every now and then. When I get the itch. Deadpool's my guy, and so if I typically read anything, it's one of his. But I was collecting pretty heavily up until about 2012, and then I just kind of I weaned off. Money needed to go to other sources and things like that, and also there's just so many crazy storylines that
digital is where it tends to go.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, you can get everything on your computer on a tablet, and it's fantastic. It looks gorgeous. The colors are great. So that is the way a lot of people go. And I still like grabbing, a hard copy every now and then. I do try to keep up enough with the series Fables. I think that was a fantastic series. But on top of that, I'm a Marvel guy more than anything. Then I'll grab pretty much any Batman trade paperback and be very happy with that because that guy has some of the best stories out there.
See, I've not been able to get into Batman.
Okay. All right. Have you tried enough, or have you not found the right story for you?
I've not really found the right story for me.
Okay. All right. I'd be happy to either lend you or give you some recommendations because I think he's probably got some of the best stories, but overall I like Marvel better. What's your jam?
Yeah, I tend to like Marvel. Deadpool is always a solid.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Zombies.
Zombies is fun, yeah.
Tends to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
I tend to like the one shots.
Oh, okay,
the short story that can contain it within a single hard paperback or hard trade paper, graphic novel.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Despite being new to town, you've got to know the place by doing a bit of adventuring on your own through a burger challenge.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell me a bit about that.
Sure, which I think is actually how I guess you saw me or kind of heard my name or saw my name on social media because I was posting these things. So where this started from, basically, so I was new to town, and kind of what came into my head was, when you go to a new town, and what I kind of thought is when people come to see me here, a lot of people want to know what's the best burger in town or what's the best pizza in town or whatever, and that's where people want to go when they come visit you. And me being new, I was like, I don't know what the heck the best is in town. So it's like I set out to find out what is the best burger in LaGrange for me. And so when I decided to do that, I got into it. I made an entire like Google Doc spreadsheet where I just broke everything out so I could put my ratings and make my notes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have my separate rules. And so, I mean, this is me just being an idiot, just kind of having fun on my own. And so I, went on to Yelp, went on to Google, went asking people, just being like, all right, what is the best burger in town, or what are the burger places in town? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be thorough. So I wasn't just going to try 5 places or whatever. I was like, okay, my criteria can't be a national chain. Mm-hmm. I want it to be basically a local spot or a local chain kind of place that, is typically just in Georgia or around LaGrange. It has to have basically a burger menu or a specialty burger. It can't just be like, every restaurant pretty much has a burger, mm-hmm. but I didn't want to go and try every single burger in town. I would be dead before I could, get this thing out. And so I was like, all right, it has to have a burger menu, so that way it's kind of like burgers are something that they care about. And so I made my list of 20 places, and then I also did include places that are known for their burger. So for example, there's Red Skating Rink is a place that multiple people were telling me, oh, this is the best burger in town. I'm like, it's a skating rink. It's just a little concession stand in the skating rink. They're like, no, just go. So I included them because they are like, quote unquote, known for their burger.
That's one of the places I found most disturbing or interesting. I'm not sure how to word it.
It's a interesting, rink. Yes. I held nothing back. I went to all the different places that people were like, Adam, carry a gun with you or something. Don't go to those places. Like, that does not seem safe. I didn't fear for my life in any of these places that I went to, or some places they were just like, really? You're going there for a burger? And I'm like, well, yeah, it fits all my criteria. I'm going to be thorough. I'm going to make sure I try it. So I started on, and I did not eat 20 burgers in 20 days or whatnot. Now, granted, I saved up my posts and I started posting them kind of back to back to back, but I would have about 1 to 2 burgers a week, mm-hmm. starting, I think it was around like June, July, or August or something like that, and going for a couple months and knocking out the burgers, mm-hmm. and then started posting it. But it was fun, and I got a lot of comments from friends and family, just being mm-hmm. like really enjoying my comments and my ratings and whatnot. And so I went to pretty much every one of those places in town that fits it, mm-hmm. and I narrowed it down to my top burgers, and it was a tie for number 1.
Okay.
If you're curious. I'll bring up like my top 5 if I remember. I think Cart Barn was number 5 or around that. Okay. People were shocked that I had Cart Barn so low, but it was okay. One that had a surprisingly good burger, Captain's Cove. That burger. So I got a burger at Captain's Cove based on they had a menu, but a guy who I work with at City Hall said, okay, you've got to go get I think he called it the Aloha burger or something like that, which really was nothing like I would assume an Aloha burger is, which should have like maybe bacon or definitely a grilled pineapple or something. So it was not like that at all. It had some kind of special sauce that they obviously made there. It was a humongous, like bigger than half-pound burger. The fries at Captain's Cove were surprisly awesome.
Really?
I would say not to be mean to QR Captain's Cove, but the atmosphere is not the best there. It wasn't the best atmosphere, but the food was solid.
I was surprised that place is even open.
Yeah, I know. You drive by and you're just like, really? Similar enough with like Pizza Villa. I tried their burger, which ranked tied for the lowest burger in town.
Yeah.
It tied with, I'm sorry people, you might hate me being a LaGrange podcast, tied with Charlie Joseph's for my least favorite burger in town, which I still liked it. I still would eat it, but it was just lower rankings to the others. And then my number 3 burger was Mare Sol. Fantastic burger. Mm-hmm. The pimento burger, cheeseburger was very good. And then tied, I guess, for number 1 and /2 was the tie between Beacon. Beacon's burger was fantastic. They had the best bacon out of anyone. It's almost more like pork belly. Mm-hmm. It was really good. I wish the patty was a little bit thicker, and that's why it didn't get like a perfect score for me. And then the other burger that was absolutely fantastic, Venucci's, which is an Italian place. No one thinks to go there for a burger, but they have a burger lunch menu. Okay. It's a huge burger. It's called I had the Brits Southern Burger, which comes with pimento cheese, fried green tomato, bacon, a pepper jam, or pepper jelly that was just delicious, and it really had all the kind of flavors you would want. It had a little bit of, tiny bit of kick from the pepper jelly, but plenty of sweetness from it. All the savory and great texture from the fried green tomato, and the bacon and the pimento cheese, super creamy, super umami with that, and the burger was huge itself. But wow. Venucci's had the worst fries. Out of my entire thing, Venucci's had the worst fries, and like Marisol had the best fries. So
okay.
If you're a fry person,
yeah, I'm definitely, the fries either make or break it for me.
Yeah, and so I that's why, to me, it's like you got to have a burger with fries. So I kind of like, I made it all about the burger, and that's why Venucci's tied for the top. But I kind of had like a side category where the fries are like, it's an extra important thing, because if I told somebody to go to a burger place, or to get like, the best overall burger experience, yeah, I probably wouldn't say Venucci's, because their fries are just that low. I would say go to Beacon or Marisol, because Beacon's fries are just as good, pretty much. And then, but if you are just wanting a burger, Venucci's, what a surprise. Very good. So yeah, anyway, I took pictures at the places and just started posting them on my Instagram and tagging, LaGrange and whatnot, and putting up the rankings and whatnot, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was inspired by that, and I considered doing something similar, just with my own stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are trying to get me to do like, the best wings in town or the best pizza. I'm trying to eat a little bit better right now this holiday season, so I'm gonna try and maybe abstain from doing that.
No.
just go for it.
Yeah, seriously, just lean in.
Fair enough.
What do you wish you had known when you first moved to town?
Yeah, great question. For me, as I guess dark as it sounds, how divided this town can be. You see there's some really nice areas of LaGrange. And LaGrange is an up-and-coming place, which was one of the reasons I was inspired to move here. It seemed like a great spot to come in before, it really starts building up into its own kind of metropolis area, where you can maybe get in on the ground level floor. But there's still a long way to go. There's still, you turn a corner and you see some impoverished areas. And that's the only kind of thing that, not that I needed to know that before I got here, but I still see there's a lot of work in this town for not even just seeing dilapidated buildings, but also just the community itself. Like, let's get people together, let's clean up, because I'm here and I'm already like jumping in with litter pickups, and I'm excited to be here. And I want to see like people who've been here all their lives, like we have the opportunity. This seems to be the opportunity right now to get LaGrange just booming. We've got some fantastic restaurants and breweries, the amphitheater, everything that's here gives this place such great potential. And I do see a lot of whining and complaining, as opposed to, hey, we're a community, I want to see us band together. And I see, it's across the country. It's not just LaGrange, but there seems to be a lot of, just divided people. We're more divisive than ever. And so I see that here. And I see it even, honestly, like I said, physically. You turn down one road and you're like, oh, whoa, where am I? So
Yes, very much so. Yeah, it's actually much better than it used to be.
Okay.
It was far worse when I moved here 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's hopeful.
Yeah, we're making progress.
Good. Glad to hear it, because I want to be here, and I want to make more progress with the town.
So what's your favorite spot or place in LaGrange?
Well, as I mentioned about burgers, there's, some of those options, but...
Yeah, so let's leave the burgers on the table.
Leave the food and the burgers aside. When it comes to, like, my favorite spot, right now, and maybe it's because my wife's a runner, I get drug to Granger Park pretty often. And I actually very much enjoy it. It's a spot that I end up going maybe once or twice a week. Even, just during my lunch breaks. I get off and I walk from City Hall. I walk down to Granger Park and I do a little loop, walk and come back. I just kind of put on either a podcast or some music or something. And it is very relaxing. I very much enjoy that area. And just having that thread has actually been really nice. And that was another thing that made me excited to be here, seeing that was growing, especially having a running wife. being like, wow, this is a community that seems to be wanting to push that. But people love parks, and parks I think are an important part of any town. And so having that can be, I feel safe. I feel it's very calming just going out and doing a walk. And so, I'll be out there multiple times each week, just going and doing loops and walking and enjoying myself and just kind of having a relaxing time.
Awesome. That's a great answer. I honestly never even thought about the Thread being a favorite spot.
And I guess I want to give a second favorite spot, which is also tied to the Thread, where I did my Christmas pictures this year. We went there's that new boardwalk on the country club area of the Thread, which is beautiful. That's going to be a spot for prom pictures and stuff like that for years to come. But my wife and I did a little faux photo shoot for our Christmas pictures this year, for our holiday pictures, and sent them out.
Awesome.
And it turned out really good. So I guess for pictures, that's a good spot as well.
All right. You're banned from answering number 12 with a burger joint.
Oh, no.
So what is your go-to order at your favorite LaGrange bar or restaurant?
Okay.
If it's not a burger joint.
So, can I say my favorite beer in town? I've tried quite a bit of the beers at both Beacon and Wild Leap.
Yeah, I said my answer for number 12 was the Bomb Pop IPA.
Okay. See, my issue, I'm not a big IPA guy.
Okay.
And all that hops flavor it doesn't do it for me. But I know IPAs are so in, and Wild Leap they're hardcore into their IPAs.
Yeah, my wife hates IPAs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just the one kind of beer that I haven't really got into. When I first got here though, they had a bourbon barrel stout at Wild Leap, and it was fantastic. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, when I went back, it was gone, and I was just like, bring it back! I want that. So hopefully it's seasonal and is coming back next year. It was fantastic. But besides that, my go-to beer right now in town is Bencherong at Beacon, which is a Thai chili porter, which is nice. I kind of like that. There's a little kick to it, but it's got chock full of flavor, some unique stuff in there that you don't always expect from a beer, and so that one is kind of been my go-to. It's not one that I'm going to drink all day on it, but it's one that is you're going to have a specialty beer, you drink that, and then you can kind of go back to a local gold or something like that. Fair enough. Good way to put it.
Does your wife have a favorite beer?
My wife isn't a beer drinker, so yeah.
My wife isn't either, actually.
Okay, there you go.
She can do a sour or a Vacanza every now and then.
Yeah.
But she's more of a wine person.
Yeah. So my wife, she enjoys the sweet wines, and that's kind of her jam. So that's it.
So since you've been here for 8 months or so, what's your favorite thing about living in or around LaGrange?
To me, as weird as it sounds, it's seeing the green.
Okay.
I lived in Colorado for a while, which was fine, but being in Los Angeles for, I guess it was a total of 7-ish years or so, all you see is shades of brown and concrete, and it's so dry out there where nothing really grows all that much. It rains just a couple times, a handful each year, and so I really, really like coming to a town and living in a place where, okay, I'm gonna drive to work, or I'm gonna go drive out. The lake's 10 minutes away or whatever, and you're surrounded by trees when you're driving there. I really did miss greenery, and that is as kind of basic, and I think a lot of people might not think about it, but for me, who has kind of missed it, living in downtown-ish Denver and downtown-ish Los Angeles, I miss it, man. And so I was very, very happy to have that around here.
So, since you've been here for 8 months, that's long enough to find a hidden gem. So what is the hidden gem that no one else knows about, or at least you think no one else knows about?
Okay. I don't think enough people know about this small... Well, I guess I could have said the Reds Burger, the skating rink that has the burger spot.
I still don't even know where Reds is.
Yeah, it's way out. It's kind of near the lake. It's right by Water Whiz. Did you know that's a little...
I know of Water Whiz, but I don't know where it is.
Okay. It's kind of out near the lake, and I can't remember which one of the boat docks is near or something like that. But Google it. People can figure it out.
Yeah.
The skating rink is meh. The burger was surprisingly decent, and they had some games and whatnot. But a place I want to call out, which is similar, another kind of game spot, but for me, it was really all about the generosity and then just a super nice guy who runs Williams Speedway, which is a little indoor go-kart rink, or go-kart spot that they have here in town, which
we have an indoor go-kart?
Exactly. Not many people know that there is a little, and it's not a huge track. It's in like an old warehousey kind of spot. Even kind of like the go-kart fumes you kind of can smell, but he's got fans to kind of blow them out. But the guy was so nice, and we were doing a little filming there for a tourism video. We had the mayor come, and he filmed a little spot there, and the guy couldn't have been a nicer dude. And after we filmed, he let me and the guy I work with, Philip, he let us hop on, multiple of his different go-karts.
That's
and
awesome.
Some of them, they got some power, I can tell you. They were pretty ridiculous. And one of them is like a tricycle that thing, it sounds like a freaking hog. It sounds like something that, is a full-blown, Harley driving down the road. And it's hard to control, but it is fun. And the guy, like I said, the guy was super sweet. It's a little indoor go-kart place. They have some other games and stuff, which are cool too.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy was awesome. Having the indoor go-kart thing was just a lot of fun. It's a place I would absolutely want to go back and just kind of, enjoy just being silly, spinning out, doing go-kart stuff. So Williams Speedway is a little gem that, and when I mention it to people, they have no idea that there's a go-kart area in town. So
yeah, I've lived here for 10 years, and there's a go-kart place in town? Oh, awesome. I'm going to have to take my son.
Yeah, it is probably, I doubt that you guys will regret it. It's a lot of fun.
If you could be a superhero, what power would you possess?
So you're talking to a nerd.
Exactly.
I mean, you could go so many routes. I want all the powers.
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love Deadpool, so being regenerative would be awesome. You could live extra long. You would not worry about hurting yourself. But that's probably not the route I would want to take. For me, and then also partly I want to be able to control people. The dark side of me is like, man, I want Professor X to be able to just read all minds, know everything, and just control whatever at my will.
No, you don't want to read minds.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Well, I can control the minds then too.
But you know what they were thinking. So that's a recipe for disaster, bud.
Fair enough. But what I ultimately typically try to go with is, because there's so much of this world I want to see, I'm going to go teleportation.
Okay.
I want to go places, and I'm not talking Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's awesome. He'd be super cool, but he only goes as far as he can see.
I was going to say.
And I don't want to have to BAMF myself across the Atlantic, looking everywhere I can see. I'll do someone like Magic or Cloak, or someone who can pretty much go any of the distances. And
kudos for knowing the BAMF and and the fact that you can only teleport as far as you can see.
Yeah. So if I could do that, then I could just, I want to go to Paris for lunch, boom, and then I just kind of hop over there or see anything that I want to do. That would be the kind of experiences you could have doing that would be unparalleled.
Awesome. All right. So what's your best MacGyver moment?
My best MacGyver moments was probably when I was 6. And I was with my dad, and it was the episode where I'm just kidding. That was not. I know you're not talking about, watching MacGyver. Yeah. So recent.
You can go with that too.
I could go with that too. You probably haven't gotten that kind of MacGyver moment.
Yeah.
Man, when MacGyver had the best mullet, and just like I was trying to recreate it. No.
Got my haircut just so.
That'd be a heck of a MacGyver moment right there. At the parade in town, that was the District 2 Light Up LaGrange parade. Me and my buddy, or not my buddy, he is a buddy, my buddy, my coworker.
This
Philip,
is just a couple days ago, right?
That's the Christmas parade. So this was the one that was about 2 weeks and a couple days ago. So
Thanksgiving parade?
It kind of was that, but it's at Union Street Park. It's put on by the District 2 community members and whatnot. So it's not as big of a parade at all, but it's one that is trying to be up and coming.
Okay.
And me and Philip and Jeremy, who is someone else I work with, we set up fantastically. We were all set and ready to go. And then it started raining. And it was like, oh man, we got video equipment. So we had to, I mean, it's not much of a MacGyver moment. We had to kind of tweak and adjust some things, but like it kind of got nuts. There's kids running around. They kicked off one of our SDI cables, broke it completely. But we had to like fully adjust within a matter of, it felt like seconds, to kind of make sure that we could still we didn't put on the parade, but to film the parade, put it out there for the community to watch if they wanted to on LGTV and on our Facebook page and whatnot. So we had to scramble, break down all our equipment in the rain, make sure it was safe, make sure that we could, we were hiding under garbage bags, filming stuff with little holes ripped out so we could, get our lenses through it. So it's not like a perfect, rubber band and pencil and boom, now you have a helicopter or whatever the heck MacGyver type of moment. But it was something that, to me, really showed the team that I work with, we're willing to adjust on the fly and get what needs to get done so we can make sure the community, we're still showing the videos that we need to or getting stuff out there.
Yeah, still pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it stunk and it wasn't fun in the rain, but
we got it done. Really are.
Yeah, true.
All right. Is there anything else I should have asked but didn't? Is there anything you're dying for the folks of LaGrange to know?
I mean, I guess what I'm dying them to know is, go check out our videos on Facebook.com/City of LaGrange or LGTV. A lot of people, who have made some comments on them are like, for example, what we do is a series, I briefly mentioned it, with the Troup County Historical Society, that's called A Brief Moment in LaGrange's History. And we've done it for closing in on 20 weeks now, where it's 20 different stories, brief stories, with just kind of pictures being told by the director of the Historical Society over there, just telling different stories about different people in history, pretty much unique to this town. So one of our most viewed one was Horace King. So, I mean, there's a street called Horace King. People may not know who he is, what he did, but he was a former slave who became an architect, and he built a whole bunch of bridges around Georgia, and he's buried here in town. And, we've got one coming out in the near future about Charlie Joseph. We've got one about just a whole bunch of different little things that are unique and special to this town. And so, go watch them. Those are, I think, are particularly interesting. And I guess just because I'm working for the city, everybody is going to complain about the government, but like, man, I can tell you, we're trying. we are busting our butts to try and improve everything that we can as much in this town, as well as, give people a voice to everything they want. And so with my current position, I'm kind of here to make videos and put them out there so people know, like, hey, look, your government's in use. We're doing stuff, hey, please check it out. If you can't make the Christmas parade, we put it on live and we throw it out on Facebook Live for anybody to watch it if they can't make it but they want to see it, or any of those kind of things. So
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah, it is pretty much a public service that we're trying to get out there. Like, people, all the parades we put on our LGTV Facebook, and we put them out there live for people to watch. We have some little series that we do on there as well, and I do little highlight videos or other stuff like that of city events that are in town. Like, every month we have a litter cleanup. It's called Leaving LaGrange Better Than We Found It, which was an initiative brought on by our city manager, Meg Kelsey.
Okay.
I think it was the beginning of 2018, which once a month, people from community members as well as city employees, we go out at a different spot and we pick up litter. And we are trying to, just help better the community. And so I go out there and I'm shooting video, just trying to let people know about, like, hey, what different things we're doing, or other kind of city-run events that are being put out there as well. So, we're a resource that, we're just trying to let people know that, we're not just sitting back here collecting taxes and, saying, wahaha, big government. No, we're actually really trying. So I'd say there are resources that we have, so feel free to go check them out and hopefully learn a little bit more about your local LaGrange government. And I guess the only other things I want to mention that you could have asked, or that you shouldn't have asked, but that I'll mention about myself is I love trivia, pub trivia, and I'm super competitive. I play pretty much every week at Your Pie at 7 o'clock. If anyone thinks they can take me down, my team is one of the better ones there. I love Lizzie, and we're awesome. And so if you think you can beat me, come on.
What night of the week?
Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And then, if you don't mind, I'll plug my own podcast real quick. If anybody is interested in listening, I have technically two, where my brother and I, we talk all things nostalgia, pretty much anything pop culture from the late 70s up to mid 90s.
Okay.
The podcast is called the Blast from Our Past podcast, where we do movie reviews, TV show reviews, anything really pop culture. We're coming up at our 100th episode. Really excited about that. Should be out in mid-January, so very excited. That's been a lot of fun. And then I do another podcast with a buddy of mine where we're watching every episode of Seinfeld and giving it a breakdown. So we're into season 3 on that one right now. We've got a long way to go, but it's been a lot of fun just kind of rewatching Seinfeld. So I'm a pop culture nerd, and I'm a nostalgic pop culture nerd because I had 2 podcasts where I just go and talk about old stuff from when I was younger, and I love it.
Those sound awesome.
Thank you. I hope anybody wants to check them out. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They're definitely adult. I've tamed my language on this podcast, but I kind of let it all fly on those because it's for fun. So.
What was the name of the Seinfeld podcast?
Seinfeld podcast is called Cartwright, a Seinfeld podcast.
Okay, and the other one was a Blast from Our Past?
Yep, Blast from Our Past podcast.
Okay. Be sure to check those out, guys.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.